What's up, everybody? This is Willpower Astrology, and I'm Will. You're welcome. And today we're talking about your North Node in Virgo in your birth chart. So, continuing the North Node series, to start off with, the North Node is where the moon's orbit around the Earth crosses the Earth's orbit around the sun. So, where the moon crosses the Earth's orbit in the front, that's the North Node, and where it crosses in the back, that's the South Node. So, they're always going to be exactly opposite each other. And whereas the planets are all going one way, right? We see them all going that way because we're going in that rotation. We're observing the nodes go in a retrograde motion or backwards. So as of right now in August 2022, we are in North Node in Taurus. So we started out the series in Taurus and we're going backwards from there. So now we've made it around to the second trine of the Earth signs, and now we're back into North Node in Virgo. So we already did Taurus, we did Capricorn, now we're in Virgo. So similarly to those other signs, it's going to be going away from an emotional, intuitive place and toward a concrete, specific, tangible place, right? We're going away from an emotional influence to like a literal, I can touch this shit. It's not a concept, it's tangible way. So let's, and then what the North Node represents, I'm about to sneeze, excuse me. What the North Node represents is, sneezing. What the North Node represents is sneezing. What the North Node represents is what we're here to kind of karmically experience and learn in this life. Now, there's other trials and lessons, like Saturn is here to be your kind of karmic teacher, your kind of time lord, taskmaster. So you're going to get like trials and lessons more specifically through Saturn. But the overall trajectory of your life's events, the energy that you feel, we're trying to move toward the North Node. So the North Node is going to be what's outside of our comfort zone. It's what is not familiar to us. It's what you got to get out of our shell and go figure out, right? So then similarly, this, contrary wise, whatever you want to say, the South Node is the energy that we are already mired in when we come into this incarnation. So this brings up the idea of past life incarnations. It brings up the idea of like the baggage that our soul is carrying with us, like that type of idea. And a lot of times, to me, the South Node is like the conditioning that we receive in our childhood that then teaches us to behave a certain way. So then when we get to an adulthood and we're trying to figure out our own shit, we don't know how to do that North Node shit because we were taught how to be South Node people. Does that make sense? So generally the South Node, it can be like our superpowers. It can be stuff that is like what we have a predilection for already, but it also can be what we tend to be on a low vibration. We tend to act out the bad qualities of the South Node. So once we master the South Node and kind of learn those qualities and how to use those tools, then we get into this energy of the North Node, right? We really, really want this energy of the South Node, but we're never going to get it until we paradoxically master this North Node that we don't know, right? Cool. So let's see where we're at. That's a little bit of an intro there. So I got my little notes in my little notebook. I wrote down these dates and times. And if you were born in these times, then you have the North Node in Virgo. So let me see. So the next one coming up is going to be in 2034 to 2035. So we still have a ways until we come back to this. So we just experienced this a couple of years ago. If you were born at this time and you're watching this video, how? Because you're a baby. How would you be watching this video? So the last time the North Node was in Virgo was November 11th of 2015 to May 9th of 2017. In the 90s, the Gen Z placement of this would be January 24th of 97 to October 19th of 1998. There is not a millennial placement for this sign, for this natal placement or whatever. Skipping back to the Gen Xers, it's July 5th of 78 to January 5th of 80. Then it went direct for a couple days. And then from January 7th of 80 to January 12th of 80. So there's a couple of days in there where January of 80, that you would not have this placement. So make sure that a couple of y'all Capricorns up in 1980 have not North Node in Virgo, okay? Then going back a little bit further, baby boomers. This is kind of towards the tail end of the boomers here. We have December 15th of 59 to June 10th of 61. Then going back a little bit further, we have May 24th of 1941 to November 20th of 1942. Then going back a little further, we have August 23rd of 22 to August 27th of 22, just a couple of days there. And then from August 30th of 22 to April 22nd of 24, okay? And then at the beginning of the 20th century, it was January 15th of 1904 to September 17th of 1905. So those are the times, if you were born in one of those times, you have the North Node in Virgo. So let's get into it. Let's start off with the energy of the South Node in Pisces, okay? So Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, and Alyssa Sharp, that I started following years ago, that is, you know, the modern godmother of the online astrology movement, jokes that Pisces is kind of the dumpster of the zodiac, because it's the last sign, it's the last mutable sign. And what happens is the mutable signs of Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces are a combination of the previous two cardinal and fixed signs. So Gemini is a combination of Aries and Taurus. Virgo is a combination of Leo and Cancer. Sagittarius is a combo of Libra and Scorpio. And then Pisces is a combination of Capricorn and Aquarius. But Pisces is also a combination of every sign of the zodiac. So like every sign of the zodiac, you just take some shit and throw it in this dumpster, like your extra bits, and then that's Pisces. So that sounds really dramatic, but as the South Node, this kind of tends to be true. So as the South Node Pisces person, you're gonna be heavily influenced by the people around you, because Pisces is where we wash back into the ocean. It's where we die and our bodies rot away and all those particles become, part of the earth again. It's fertilizing the soil. It's that type of moment. Pisces is where the boundaries dissolve. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, which is a higher kind of octave of Venus, which is about spirituality. The glyph of Neptune is like the trident, right, with the cross and the cross. So double cross means double physical realm, but its antennas up to the spiritual realm. So it's literally, you just have your like antennas, beep, 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 boo, 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 and you're just soaking shit up all the time, indiscriminately. Pisces people are so impressionable that they literally will just mirror you, and then it's like you don't get to know them until a while, and they start to show you their real selves because they just have been mirroring you the whole time. And so I feel like people with South Node in Pisces are very much like this, very susceptible to kind of just all of the impressions around them, just kind of soaking up everything, not knowing if it's their own thoughts or if it's the thoughts of the people around them, or if it's, you know what I mean, the conditioning of what they were brought up in. So I think people with this energy, with this birth chart, have a really hard time kind of differentiating their own self from their environment, because they're like a sponge. They just soak everything up. And also, because they're this last sign of the zodiac, especially Pisces women are going to be a little bit of everybody. So sometimes a Pisces is going to be really feisty like a fire sign, and sometimes they're going to be really like cold like an earth sign, and sometimes they're going to be really argumentative like an air sign. But they're just picking and choosing because they're soaking up everything around you all the time. So probably a little bit psychic and a little bit vibey with this influence. But again, not knowing how to channel it, not knowing how to differentiate what those different qualities are. So you just get lost in the tide, you get lost in the waves. So as a child, these people probably didn't have very strict like boundaries, or they weren't taught to have like any routines. So they just go with the flow. So on the one hand, you probably very easygoing. You're like, yeah, cool, great. I can get with that because I can understand you. I can like understand what your vibe is. So yeah, I can go with that, sure. But you're gonna realize that the more you just go along with things, the more you get washed away from yourself. You know what I mean? The more you go along with everybody else, and the more you just kind of like, yeah, I can change, I can adapt, I can do whatever. You're gonna find that like people don't give you the things that you want or the things that you need because you're just it's like you're trying to find boundaries, but it's just an open ocean. You know what I mean? You're trying to find the edges, but it's just more water and it's muddy water. You know what I mean? Because Pisces is highly spiritual, but in the South Node, it can be highly delusional. So Pisces is one of the most susceptible signs of the zodiac to substance abuse, um, alcoholism, you know what I mean? That type of escaping reality because they're like, oh, I just want everything to be happy and pretty all the time. So they're gonna chase that dragon, even if it's to their own detriment. Do you know what I mean? Um, the Pisces glyph of the two fish, that's Aries and not Aries, that's not it. It's Aphrodite and Eros is who I was thinking of in their animal totem form. So Pisces, Neptune, it's all about love. They just want to feel love. That's why they're so empathetic, is because it's all about love and they tend to see things through rose-colored glasses. They're going to see the best qualities of a person, even if that person is shitting all over them. So if you have the South Node in Pisces, highly vibey, but also like maybe you need to turn those vibes off a little bit. Maybe you need to allow yourself to have some firmer boundaries, because just going with the flow is not going to allow you to arrive at specific places, if that makes sense. You're just going to get washed away. Let me think what else here. Superpowers, going with the flow, being able to be malleable, being able to go, that's not working, so let's try this. You know what I mean? But on the flip side, what it probably is hard for you to do is to make a plan. And you're going to find moving from your South Node of, yeah, we can go with the flow, we can do whatever, but what we need to have is an itinerary. What we need to have is like a calendar. What we need to have is a plan. So moving from your South Node, once we kind of mastered these tools of not just going with the flow, but understanding what the flow is, understanding that I'm getting vibes from over here, I'm getting vibes from over here, I have this person talking in my ear, this person is sulking and it's hurting my heart. You know what I mean? Like we're having all of these impressions going on all around us. But what do you want? Like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Because if you're just going with the flow and you're just reacting to everybody else all the time, you're never gonna get the shit done that you wanna do. So going away from that, going into the North Node of Virgo, it's going to feel outside of your comfort zone to say, this is what I do. This is how I do it. This is the schedule I do it on. This is like the routine that I have. First of all, just coming up with the routine. So Virgo is all about, they call it service. They say that Virgo is the sign of service, which I think is kind of a misnomer, because Virgo is associated with the 6th house, which has to do with your health, your habits, and your routines. So they say service. I think it's more about the processes by which you do things. So the progression of the earth signs is Taurus is, I made a brick, right? I made a thing, boop, here it is. Virgo is, here's my system of how I made that brick. Here's the ingredients I used, here's the molding I used, here's how I fired it in the kiln, here's how I distributed those bricks, here's the money I made off those bricks, but it's about me. It's not about other people, because that other people is not until the next sign of Libra into the 7th house. Virgo is all about, like I was just saying about Pisces being like the culmination of all the signs. Virgo is the culmination of your self-development. So Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and then Virgo, wherever that shit lands in your chart, that's about your self-development. And that's where these 6 axes, from self to other, from self to community, from self to spiritual, that's where all these align off of. So the axis of Virgo and Pisces is literally from myself and my processes to the rest of the world. And like not just people, not just communities, because that's Aquarius in the 11th house. I'm talking about my spiritual connection to the ether, my spiritual connection to the collective consciousness, to the collective unconscious. You know what I mean? We're going from a very specific Virgo to a very like, it's everything, man, it's whatever, right? So if we're going from a south node of Pisces, we're just vibing, we're just doing whatever, we're going to a very specific Virgo thing. So it's important for these people to have a plan and then to implement that plan. And it might be that people resist you because they're like, why can't you be more flexible? Why can't you be? You're not here to learn how to be flexible. You're here to do what the fuck you need to do. You need to get it done. You need to make it happen. And the longer you're sitting here just in the waters, just getting tossed around by everybody else's little opinions, then you're not doing that shit that you need to do. Because it's like checking off a box, da 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 da, right? And then also, it's also going to be bad for your health if you just if you're not having these firm boundaries, and you're not having these like a plan for your thing. You're gonna give away your psychic energy. You're gonna give away your physical energy, and then you're gonna deplete yourself. So part of what this incarnation is learning what your limits are, is learning how to take care of your own body. Learning how to take care of your own self first, because you can't go help all these people that you empathetically like, oh, I can help you, I can help you, I can help you. You can't fix people. You can't fix people because you can't even fix your own goddamn self. So like, anyway, it's that paradox of you have to get your own shit together. Once you can fall into a routine, once you know what it is that you want to do, once you have your own system in place, right? Then you can go out and have that energy be available to other people. And you'll find that your energy of, this is how we're going to do it, this is the timetable, you know what I mean? Like for other people to come up with such an itemized list and such a detailed plan, it might not work for them. But for you, that's what you need to do. It's like you need to come up with a to-do list and then just check it off. Otherwise, you're just going to drown in like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know where I'm going. So I think the difficulty of this sign is getting to specifics, because Virgo is all about the nitty gritty little details. The totem of Virgo is the Virgin, which is one of the largest constellations in the sky. And I think that there's like a difference in linguistics of what we mean by that. Virgin doesn't mean that you've never had sex, because anybody that knows a Virgo knows that them are like fucking freaks. Virgos are fucking freaks, dude. I saw this tweet that was like, Virgos are what you think Scorpios are. Virgos actually are what you think Scorpios are. And that is no damn lie. People think Scorpios are these like sex freaks or whatever. This Virgo baby is Virgo. So it's not about being a virgin. It's about being whole and complete unto yourself, and it's about being like in tune with your processes, whatever. So like in the past, the Vestial virgins, the Hestian virgins or whatever, they weren't sitting around not having sex. They were women that were like powerful and whole and complete, and they didn't just need no man. They didn't need no man. Okay, so that's kind of the energy of Virgo. Is like it's like very an earth goddess, and she's very mutable, and she can be the spring or the winter or the summer or the fall. And if you cross her, she can summon up a winter that'll last 1,000 years, but she can also be light and breezy like a warm summer day. You know what I mean? But Virgo is the sign of discrimination. And what I mean by that is that they make judgment calls. It's not this like wishy-washy, everybody's great, you know, all drag is valid. Okay, but is all drag good? You know, like just because your drag is valid doesn't mean that it's good, you know? So Virgo wants the best things of what you can buy. Virgos wants quality products. They want to surround themselves with things that show their taste. Do you know what I mean? That show their refined sensibilities. Oh my God, what is this like cat hair floating around my face? It's too much. If a Virgo was sitting here with this cat hair floating around their face, they'd be like, oh my God! I don't know what this video is today. I'm a little hyper. But it's the sign of discrimination. You have to make choices, and you have to say, that's not for me. That's good. That's not good enough. I like that. You know what I mean? You can't just allow everything that comes across your path to be the one, or else it's just going to keep bringing you a bunch of shit. Virgo as a sign is like a natural filter. I don't know if anybody's ever met a Virgo, but they're going to tell you. You know what I mean? If you cross the line, they're going to tell you. Whether it's now or whether they just shut you down and go, you fucked around and now you're about to find out. You know what I mean? A Virgo is going to tell you what the deal is. You know what I mean? Virgos aren't winning any popularity contests. Like, I love y'all Virgos. I actually have several Virgos in my life, in my family, my friends that I grew up with. Like, Virgos are not winning popularity contests, but are they, you know what I mean? Like on a low vibration, they're just cutting people out of their life indiscriminately. They're saying, fuck you, you didn't do this for me. But on a high vibration, they're letting you know in real time what the fuck is up. And they're not letting you get away with some wishy-washy shit. They're going, no, I need you to be accountable for ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. You know what I mean? So that's kind of, you know what I mean? It's you're going away from, it's all just love and it's all just whatever. And it's like, if you don't do what you said you were going to do, then you're not going to be in my life. Because I'm whole unto myself. You know what I mean? I'm taking that previous energy of Cancer, which is feeling, coming from within, and Leo, which is that heart passion, and I'm bringing it into like, this is how I'm going to achieve what I want to do. This is how I'm going to be what I want to be. And I'm not going to be able to do that if I'm sitting here fucking with your dumb ass the whole time. So I think Virgos get a lot of bad rap for being like shitty. And don't get me wrong, they can be shitty. I know some shitty Virgos that I don't talk to no more. Sorry. Because they didn't, let me tell you this specifically why. Because they didn't discriminate in the right way. They discriminated to be a racist Trump bag. They discriminated to be a little petty bitch. They didn't discriminate good taste and bad taste. Does that make sense? So you're here to do what you want to do, to discriminate the way that you want to go, and to choose the right things for you that are going to help you. So it's going to feel like maybe like, oh, I don't want to be such a huge bitch. That's what you're here to learn in this life. You're here to learn how to like stand your own ground, make choices for yourself first. It's not about these other people for you. It's about making choices for yourself and your processes first. Yeah, that's your North Node of Virgo.